question 4. I'm going to write this equation in the form y equals a times b to the x, which is just kind of a general form for an exponential equation. So we need just a base, and the base is going to end up being the 11, and the exponent is just x. There's nothing in front of the x, there's nothing being added or subtracted into x. Hey Ro, good night, or nap time, whatever. And then we have a number a that's being multiplied times the whole thing out front. So when we take our equation, square root 11 to the 2x minus 4, first thing I'm going to do is get rid of this square root. And the square root is an exponent. It's the same thing as the 1/2 power. So y equals 11 to the 2x minus 4, all raised to the 1/2 power. And I have a power raised to a power, so the property is that I get to multiply those two exponents. So y equals 11, and I'm just going to distribute this 1/2 through it. So 2x times 1/2 is x, minus 4 times 1/2 is minus 2. So now we're almost there. You can see that we've cleaned it up a whole bunch. But I need this to have some number a that's being multiplied times up front. So I'm going to take this exponent here and I'm going to break it up as y equals 11 to the x times 11 to the negative 2. I can do that because when I multiply like bases, I'm just adding my two exponents, and I would end up with x minus 2 for my exponent. So I'm almost there. I just have to evaluate this part, and we're going to put it up front. The negative part's going to make the reciprocal, and 11 to the second power is 121. So this is y equals 1 over 121 times 11 to the x. Okay, on the next few questions, we're going to use this exponential growth model, and we're going to write ourselves an equation based on the Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Rings ticket price in 2001. Average price was for a ticket $5.65. In 2003, that's 2 years later, average price rose to $6.03. That's when the last movie, Return of the King, came out. So we want to know what is the annual growth rate for one of these Lord of the Rings movie tickets from 2001 to 2003. So you can't just take a percent change between these two. We have to use this model and just plug our numbers in. A is going to be our original amount, which is $5.65. So $5.65 times 1 plus our rate, and the rate is what we're solving for. So 1 plus r raised to the t power. How many years was that? From 2003 to 2001 is 2 years. And all of this should be equal to $6.03. So to solve this, I'm going to divide by 565. So 603 divided by 565 equals 1 plus r squared. To get rid of the square, just take the square root of both sides of this. And ordinarily I'm going to have plus or minus, but in the course of this, the price is increasing, so I'm only going to have a positive square root. So I have the square root of 603 over 5.65 is equal to 1 plus r. And then at the end, for your interest rate, the actual r, or not interest rate, the growth rate, you just subtract the 1 over. So let's pull this calculator up right here and put this stuff in. Clear this out. So I want a square root of 603 divided by 565. And if I subtract 1, there's my interest rate, or growth rate. So I can see it's 0.3308-ish. R is equal to about what was it? 0.03308. If I wanted that in a percentage, I would just move over the decimal place 2 places, so 3.308%.